Here are some things that all good readers remember. Predict what the book will be about. Ask yourself questions as you read. Try and work out difficult words. Listen to yourself as you read. Reread when you need to. Can you predict what this book is about? Click on a book feature to find out. Title. The title tells you what the book is about. What do you already know about this topic? Illustration. The illustration on the front of the book shows you something that is happening inside the book. What does this picture show you? Blurb. The blurb is on the back cover. It gives you some information about the book. What other information do you think you might find in the book? Table of contents. The table of contents is a list of the topics in the book.
Moving Around by Robin O'Sullivan.
Click on the speaker on each page to hear the book read. If you get stuck, click on the Help button. If you are having trouble working out a word, try these strategies. Skip the word and read on to the end of the sentence. Can you guess what the word is now? Does it make sense and sound right? Look at the start of the word. What sound do you hear when you say the first letter? Can you sound out the first 2 or 3 letters? Look at the whole word. Are there any parts you can sound out? Break the word into syllables. Reread the whole sentence. Can you think of a word now that makes sense and sounds right?
Moving Around by Robin O'Sullivan. Contents. Movement, page 3. Energy, page 4. Forces, page 6. Acceleration, page 8. Gravity, page 10. Isaac Newton, page 12. Air resistance, page 14. Friction, page 16. Upthrust, page 18. Find out more, page 20. Fun page, page 21. Quiz, page 22. Glossary, page 23. Index, page 24. Movement. How many times did you move to start reading this book? You moved to sit down. You moved to pick up the book. You moved to turn the page. You move around doing things all through the day. Finish reading this book and you'll know how all this moving happens. Turn the page. Let's get moving. Energy. You cannot move around without energy. Everything that moves in our world needs energy. The energy comes from many different sources or places. Energy. Power that can be used to do something. Moving object, animal. Source of power, food. Moving object, aeroplane. Source of power, jet fuel. Moving object, car. Source of power, petrol, diesel. Moving object, train. Source of power, electricity. Moving object, tractor. Source of power, diesel fuel. Moving object, submarine. Source of power, nuclear. Moving object, kite. Source of power, wind.
A kite cannot fly without wind.
These children use the wind to make the kite move. This solar car gets energy from the sun. This child gets energy from food. These boats get energy from petrol. Where does this tractor get energy to move? Forces. Energy cannot make things move by itself. Energy makes a force. It is the force that makes things move. A force can make something start to move. A force can change the speed of something that is already moving. The force can make it go faster, or slower, or stop. A force can also change the direction of something that is moving. Force. A push or a pull. Pushing the pedals on a bike will make it move. Pushing harder will make it move faster. Pulling on the brake will make the bike slow down and stop. There are different kinds of forces. Each force does something different to things that are moving. Acceleration makes moving things go faster. Gravity pulls things down. Air resistance slows down moving things. Friction slows things down or makes them stop. Upthrust keeps things floating in liquid. Did you know? A force can push something and make it change shape. This is called pressure.
If you put pressure on bread dough, it changes shape.
Pressure. Something pushing against a particular area. Air pressure. When you blow air into a balloon, the pressure of the air inside pushes on the balloon. The balloon gets bigger. As you blow in more air, the air pressure grows and keeps making the balloon bigger and bigger. The pressure has changed the shape of the balloon. Acceleration. Acceleration is when something is traveling in one direction and its speed gets faster and faster. The amount of change in its speed over a certain time is acceleration. A car is traveling along a highway at 60 kilometers per hour, but the driver wants to travel at 100 kilometers per hour. The driver will make the car go faster until it gets up to 100 kilometers per hour. The speed gets faster and faster. The car is accelerating. When the car is traveling at 100 kilometers per hour, it is no longer accelerating. This car accelerates until it reaches the speed limit. You can accelerate too. When you ride your bike along the street at a steady pace and do not go any faster, then you are riding at a set speed. However, if you are running late for school, you will push harder on the pedals, so you go faster along the street. If you keep on pushing harder and going faster every minute, then you are accelerating. I go really fast when I accelerate going downhill. Gravity. The Earth has a force that pulls everything towards the center of the planet. This force is called gravity. It is gravity that stops everything on the Earth from floating off into space. Animals, plants, rocks, dirt, vehicles, ships, mountains, buildings, everything is pulled down by gravity.
Gravity is like a magnet.
Magnet. Anything that pulls something else towards it. This astronaut would float away if he was not connected to the spacecraft. Fast facts. All large bodies in space, such as planets, stars, and moons, have gravity. The further you go away from the space body, the less power its gravity has. If you get far enough away, there is no pull of gravity at all. That is why people in outer space float. Did you know the sun's gravity keeps the planets from floating away into space? Isaac Newton. Optics, the science of light and vision.
Isaac Newton studied maths at university.
Isaac Newton was one of the greatest scientists of all time. He wrote many books about maths. He even invented a kind of maths called calculus. Newton made discoveries about optics that led him to build the first reflecting telescope. He also made discoveries about the planets and stars, because he worked out how movement and gravity work. Newton discovers gravity. One day, in about 1666, Isaac Newton was in an orchard. He was sitting under an apple tree, taking a rest, when an apple fell onto the ground beside him. Newton picked up the apple and let it fall again. Then he picked up a pebble and let it fall with the apple. He watched them both fall down and hit the ground. Newton began to wonder why things fall down instead of up. It didn't matter if they were heavy or not. Even light things fell to the ground. Experiments. Tests done to find out about something. Isaac Newton did many more experiments with falling objects. Finally, he worked out that it was the pulling force of the earth that made things fall down or towards the earth's surface. Isaac Newton called this force gravity. Air resistance. Air can be a force that pushes against things that are moving through it. This is called air resistance. When an aeroplane is in the sky, it is surrounded by air. The aeroplane has to push air out of the way to keep moving. At the same time, the air is pushing against the aeroplane. This air resistance slows the speed of the aeroplane. Resistance. Fighting against. Did you know? Things with rounded or pointed ends can move through air faster than things with flat ends? My skateboard has a rounded end, so there is less air resistance when I am riding it. Aeroplane wings are shaped like birds' wings. An aeroplane has a special rounded shape. The design makes the airflow around the aeroplane easily. This makes the air resistance less, so it doesn't slow the aeroplane's speed as much. The wings are also a special shape. The shape of the wings keeps the aeroplane in the air. The wings are rounded on top and flat underneath. Air pushing up on the flat part is stronger than air pushing down on the rounded part. Air flows above and below the wings of an aeroplane. Nose. Wing. Wing. The shape of an aeroplane is designed to make it fly fast. Friction. Friction is a force that slows down moving things. Friction happens when two things slide over each other. Everything has little bumps on its surface. When something is sliding or moving over another thing, the bumps get stuck on each other and slow down the movement. This slowing down is friction. Even something that looks really smooth, like the cover of this book, has little bumps on the surface. If you could look at it with a microscope, you would see the bumps. Surface, the outer part of anything. Try this experiment to see how friction works. What you need: a toy car, a smooth surface, like polished floorboards, a rough surface, like carpet, a bumpy surface, like corrugated cardboard. Directions: 1. Put the car on the smooth surface. How far does it go? 2. Put the car on the rough surface and give it a push. How far does it go? 3. Put the car on the bumpy surface and give it a push. How far does it go? Now answer these questions. 1. On which surface does the car travel furthest? Why? 2. Which surface has the most friction? Why?
Friction slows the car down.
Upthrust. Upthrust is a force that pushes up on something that is put into a fluid, like water. It is upthrust that stops things from sinking. Here's how it works. Fluid. Something that can flow, such as water or gas. 1. If a ball is put into water, it sinks down, pushing some of the water out of the way. 2. The ball takes up the space where the water was, and the water rises around the ball. 3. The water underneath presses on the ball and holds it up. This is upthrust. Upthrust can only stop something from sinking if enough water is pushed out of the way. You would think that a container ship is so big and heavy it would sink, but it is the size of the ship that stops it sinking. The ship pushes lots of water out of the way, and that makes the upthrust stronger. The ship doesn't sink because the pushing force of the upthrust is greater, or more than, the heaviness of the ship.
Upthrust keeps us on top of the water when we're swimming.
Find out more. Our world is never still. Things are moving all the time. Here are some ways you can find out more about movement and the forces that make it happen. Visit a science museum where you'll be able to see things in motion and find out why they are moving. Borrow some books from the library. Books often have experiments that you can try at home, so you can understand more about how forces work. There are many websites on the internet with animated pictures that show how different forces move things around. Use key words such as upthrust, friction, gravity, acceleration. Fun page.
Quiz. Click the box next to the correct answer.
1. What is a push or a pull? A. A game. B. A force. C. A skateboard trick. 2. What does upthrust do? A. Pushes things aside. B. Holds things down. C. Stops things from sinking. 3. What are an aeroplane's wings like? A. A bat. B. A bird. C. A butterfly. 4. Where does energy come from? A. A factory. B. Only the sun. C. Different places. 5. What can air resistance do? A. Slow down aeroplanes. B. Make rain fall. C. Make trees grow. 6. What can friction do? A. Speed up movement. B. Slow down movement. C. Start movement. 7. What does movement need? A. Energy. B. Force. C. Both. 8. What does a bumpy surface affect? A. Friction. B. Pressure. C. Density. 9. What can gravity do? A. Make things fall down. B. Push things away. C. Fill a hole. 10. Who was Isaac Newton? A. A juggler. B. A scientist. C. A doctor.
Now check your answers.
Glossary. Energy. Power that can be used to do something. Experiments. Tests done to find out about something. Fluid. Something that can flow, such as water or gas. Force. A push or a pull. Magnet. Anything that pulls something else towards it. Optics. The science of light and vision. Pressure. Something pushing against a particular area. Resistance. Fighting against. Surface. The outer part of anything. Index.
Word sorter. Click Start. Compound words are words made up from two or more smaller words. For example, hot dog is a compound word because it is made from hot and dog. Which of these words are compound words? Sort them out. Drag the correct word into the space, then click on Check It. Great work! Drag the next word. Well done. Drag the next word. Good try. This word goes in this box. Great work. Drag the next word. Well done. Drag the next word. Well done. Drag the next word. Great work. Drag the next word. Fantastic. Drag the next word. Great work. Drag the next word. Great work. Drag the next word. Great work. Drag the next word. Great. You sorted all the words. You are really good at sorting out words. Click on Print or click Next to finish. Missing words. Here is a page from the book with some of the words missing. You can put them back. Click on Start. Drag the correct word into the space, then click on Check It. That's great. Try the next word. That's great. Try the next word. That's great. Try the next word. Fantastic. Try the next word. That's great. They're all done. Click on Print to print your missing words page, or click Next to finish. Let's do a crossword puzzle using words from the book. A crossword is a fun way of thinking about the meaning of different words. Click on Start. Type the letters to make the word in the clue, then click on Check It. Click Delete to delete a letter. Click Clear to delete a word. Well done. Brilliant. Well done. Brilliant. 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 Congratulations! You have finished the crossword. Click on Print to print your crossword or click Next to finish.